Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Aurora City Council's Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Monday, December 7th, 2015. If you could please call the roll.
Ms. Varner? Here. Ms. Grandillo?
Here.
Mr. Hattrick?
Here.
Mr. Horvath?
Here.
Mr. Kovach?
Present.
Mr. Cudley?
Here.
Ms. McDougall? Mr. Vaca?
Present.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. At this time, we have the approval of our minutes for the November 16th, 2015 meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve those minutes. Any additions, comments, or corrections? I believe we have some abstentions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll abstain. Yeah.
Roll call, please.
I'm sorry.
Let's do a roll call.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Kovach?
Yes.
Mr. Cudley?
Yes.
Ms. McDougall? Abstain. Mr. Vaca?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Varner? Abstain. Ms. Grandillo?
Yes.
Mr. Hattrick?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Abstain.
Right, those minutes are adopted. Under new business, we have 4 items. The first is the item A. It's a 2015 income tax split. Who is going to address this, Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of council, this is what we do every year as we repay the school district for the agreed amount on the CRAs or abatements that we have granted. And this is that legislation to make that payment.
And part of that is an offset for the SRO officer, correct? $80,000 due to the city. So I think there's, net effect is $7,511 to the school board. Do we have a motion to forward this to council for its first reading this evening? It's been moved and seconded to forward to council for its first reading this evening. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item B is the IT management services proposal. Again, council is being asked to forward this to council for its first reading. Mr. Kraus?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our current contract for our IT managed services provider is up at the end of this year. So in talking with the law director, we talked about ways to solicit information and prices from companies. And we determined to send out proposals. So we sent out proposals looking for the new contract for what would be 2016-2017 with the option for 2018. We received 5 proposals back. We are recommending Mirafex as the best and most responsive bidder. Mirafex, as you know, is our current provider. We've been extremely pleased with their work and their professionalism in all the years we have them. Obviously, they're extremely familiar with all of our services, all of our network equipment and everything else. And so that's the recommendation. It is a significant increase from the previous contract, but as you can tell from the basis other prices, it is very competitive with the other people who submitted proposals.
Comments or questions? Mr. Hattridge?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kraus, just for the public's information, could you kind of give us like a eggshell view of what this all entails, the services that they'll provide?
Yeah, the president to the councilman. Yeah, this is everything that's related to our computer network services. So it's assistance with all of our network switches, with our servers, all of the software updates, making sure the servers function, making sure that our computers that all of our staff have and use work, that are various devices and software that are within the various servers and things working with the various software companies if there are outside contracts with our finance department, or I should say outside software that has the finance software and things like that, as well as assisting us in any advice as far as how we purchase, what equipment we should use, overall network security, network environment, direction of where to go in the future. So it's a fully loaded 100% supported contract. It's in lieu of us, obviously, we do not have anyone in-house that handles any of this information or handles this responsibility, so we've chosen to contract it with an independent contractor.
Mayor?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Hatridge. I just wanted to add that Mirafex has provided us with absolutely outstanding service. This is kind of the broad outline of what they cover. However, we have an emergency and something goes down, they are here till it's fixed. And they have been absolutely amazing. And as you can see by Chief Bayard's nodding, he agrees. I mean, and we knew, and we do have the hours documented because they went back and did it for us, and they have been giving us extraordinary service. And they warned us several months ago that this was going to have to increase in price, and just by what you see from the quotes that we got, we're still getting a great deal.
Thank you. I just think that this is information that everybody in council should really have, and also the public. Thank you very much.
Mr. Horvath?
Mr. Chairman, for the director.
Yes.
Mr. Kraus, that's about $30,000 more than last year, somewhere. What's the cost increase due to?
Mr. Kraus?
This is the chairman of the councilman. This, I feel, is more reflective of what is a more competitive price.
Okay.
I feel what happened a couple of years ago was we had gone through a transition from one company. We went from Mirafex to another company and then back to Mirafex over a course of a 2 or 3 year span. And so in that, I think the competitive bidding, Mirafex, I think, really wanted to get our contract back, so they gave us a really, really low price because they wanted to get the contract back a number of years ago.
Okay.
So as you can tell, this number is in line with obviously other proposals.
And the other thing with Great Lakes Computer, they charge an hourly rate to come out. Does Mirafex do the same? Because I know we pay them more than just the $78,000 overall.
The Great Lakes Computer Corporation, their price was the $65,000 was for all off-site support, and then they would charge us for all on-site support at an hourly rate.
Okay.
When you look at the amount of hours that they are on site, that is a large number, and it's also a fluctuating number, and it's something that's a little bit difficult for us to budget, where you know it's difficult. So that's why that proposal is not the most attractive. Mirafex's proposal is completely that's the total contract, on site, off site, whether they're here 30 hours a week, whether they're here 10 hours a week. There's no additional charges or anything else. We do not pay Mirafex additionally for their support of the network. We may pay them when we purchase equipment or something, because they may get a better competitive price if we're buying Dell computers or we're buying network switches. So when you look at if you look at Mirafex as a vendor and how much we pay them, it's this contract as well as any additional software purchases. But those software purchases are going to still be in the budget, whether it's through them or we go directly to the provider.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thank you. Ms. McDougall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I was going to ask the same question about the $30,000 increase. But what I also like to ask, I know I've asked this before, is if you could present to council what our security protocol is as far as our network. Just knowing that there's a lot of hackers that get in and steal information that it could be dangerous. It'd just be nice to know what our city's security protocol is.
Okay.
So if you could get that back to council, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Kraus, any comments?
Nope.
Mr. Wolf?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to point out as well, and Mr. Kraus can verify this handles any software patches, security patches to the servers that we've got, as well as updates that the operating systems might need, and if necessary, firmware upgrades to switches. So this is the entire system. It's all encompassing. So That's all.
All right, thank you. Seeing no further questions, we have a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to forward this to council for its first reading this evening. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Kraus. Item C is the 2015 uniforms, the bid recommendations. Mr. True?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The bid opening was held November 18th, 2015. There were 2 bids submitted. Unfortunately, one of the bids did not have a bid bond nor a proper bid submitted, so they were disqualified. The bid that was accepted is Aramark. There's no increase in the uniform or format cost compared to the existing contract. Matter of fact, one line item was even less. Instead of 34 cents, it's only 19 cents. Approximate expenditure for total for this contract was between $11,000 and $13,000. It varies a little bit depending on what uniforms that are torn or tear in the cost of the activities, and we have to buy them. But other than that, it's pretty much been very much a static, not a great increase in this contract. And this contract is a 1 year, but it has options to renew 2 and 3, and they stay at the current price for the next 3 years. So that's the good news.
Thank you. Mr. Hatridge?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Mr. True, I think this is a very good bid, to be honest with you. But just out of curiosity, approximately how many people do we have there furnish uniforms?
Mr. True?
Councilman, Mr. President, to the councilman, we have approximately about 44, maybe 50 if you count some of the supervisors, but they wear some of their own stuff besides maybe a shirt and a pair of pants.
It's about half.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Council's being asked to forward this our committee's being asked to forward this to council for action this evening. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to forward to council for action this evening. Seeing no further comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Last item under new business is the Yorkshire Estates Road dedication. We're being asked to forward this to council for its first reading this evening. Mr. DePiero.
Mr. Chairman, this is a long-standing issue that we've been working on, Mr. True and myself, along with the councilman, to get this road dedicated. The history is, we don't need to go into all the history, but I will just say that development started back, I think, in the mid-2000s. The developer changed hands. I think it's on the 3rd developer at this point. Subsequently, Trees Homes built a number of homes there. As it turns out, there was some work that was not completed way back when, probably under the 1st or 2nd developer. We've gotten the parties to complete all the work that was required. We have the bond documents. We've asked the attorney for the developer to make some additional changes. He's given me his representation that that'll be done. They'll have the documents back to us. So that's all we're waiting for. So we would just ask for first reading, and when we have that information, we can ask you to dedicate it at that point.
Right. Do we have a motion to forward this to council?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Baca, comment?
Yes, to Mr. True. Chair, to Mr. True. Everything is complete. I took a ride on it on my way up here, and the roads look okay. It's nothing like we went through with Shannon over there on Hawthorne. Everything is complete, physically wise, logistically wise.
Mr. Chairman, to the councilman, that's correct. Everything's complete. All street lights are in, all signs are up, all appurtenances, and they'll also guarantee that all appurtenances for 2 years. And to get that 2-year guarantee was very much success of the councilor, and also Ms. Torf had helped out a lot as long as the mayor. And this was done so we still would have a guarantee. And remember, this road's been in the ground for 10 years, so we want to make sure that the citizens of Aurora were just paying for what the developer.
So the guarantee starts when we give them the approval?
Yeah, after we did this 2 years afterwards. That's correct.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions? We have a motion to forward this to council for action this evening, or for a first reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.